keep on. I wanna keep on. I wanna keep on. I wanna keep on. I wanna keep on writing, keep on. I wanna keep on singing, keep on. I wanna keep making music, keep on. Won't you play my songs, keep on. I wanna keep on writing, keep on. I wanna keep on singing, keep on. I wanna keep making music, keep on. Won't you play my songs, people? I didn't wanna give it up.
I just want to say, can we all get along? Can we get along? Can we stop making it horrible for the older people and the kids?
I wanna keep on. I wanna keep on. I wanna keep on. I wanna keep on. I wanna keep on writing, keep on. I wanna keep on singing, keep on. I wanna keep making music, keep on. Won't you play my songs, keep on. I wanna keep on writing, keep on. I wanna keep on singing, keep on. I wanna keep making music, keep on. Won't you play my songs, people? I didn't wanna give it up. I really fiend for the music, people.
Oh my god, he's grab her ass! Oh my god. Stop. And then they say police brutality. Arrested.
Stop. Oh, he is beating her up, yo.
Gosh, why?
Is that a cop? No, he's just holding her down. He can't. I'm watching this.
It happened during Tuesday evening's rush hour. Drivers traveling along one of LA's busiest freeways could see the highway patrol officer follow an unidentified woman across the on-ramp. He then threw her to the ground and repeatedly punched her as she tried to block his blows. David Diaz recorded the incident on his cell phone camera.
keep on. I wanna keep on. I wanna keep on. I wanna keep on. I wanna keep on.
The NYPD routinely tells the public, if you see something, say something. But in this case, Officer Jonathan Munoz saw something and, according to surveillance video and prosecutors, said something else that was anything but the truth. First, let's show you what really happened. Officer Munoz approached a woman on the sidewalk in March of last year when her friend, Jason DeSisto, grabbed a cell phone and tried to record the encounter. Officer Munoz on the left and two of his partners can be seen grabbing DeSisto's arm and going for his phone. The officers eventually detained and cuffed the 21-year-old, put him in the back of a patrol car, and tossed the cell phone onto the street before pulling off. Now, let's move on to what Officer Munoz actually wrote in his report. It's clear he must not have known La Casa del Mofongo restaurant, where the stop and frisk encounter happened, has not one, but 3 surveillance cameras. Because Officer Munoz stated in his official report that DeSisto went on the offensive, lunged, and tried to punch him. DeSisto was even criminally charged with disorderly conduct and resisting arrest.
Without the video in this case, that police statement would have been the only thing that the district attorney would have been able to rely on.
The NYPD routinely tells the public, if you see something, say something. But in this case, Officer Jonathan Munoz saw something and, according to surveillance video and prosecutors, said something else that was anything but the truth. Now, let's move on to what Officer Munoz actually wrote in his report. It's clear he must not have known La Casa del Mofongo restaurant, where the stop and frisk encounter happened, has not one, but 3 surveillance cameras. Because Officer Munoz stated in his official report that DeSisto went on the offensive, lunged, and tried to punch him. DeSisto was even criminally charged with disorderly conduct and resisting arrest.
Without the video in this case, that police statement would have been the only thing that the district attorney would have been able to rely on.
It ain't over yet. I still got a little more for you. I just want to stop and do my little commentary before the video ends. I want to put it in between this right here. This video right here I'm about to show you in a little bit. I got off the Young Turks channel. I found this story very interesting and I wanted to put it in my video. It's about this couple that was married. They was in the bed at their home, sleep. They heard a commotion at the door. The husband went to see what was going on. The wife heard a pow. She went to see what was going on. Found her husband laying on the floor from a gunshot wound. Dead. I don't want to tell you too much. I want you to listen to the video that I'm about to play in a few minutes. Cops came over to serve a warrant, but they went to the wrong house. That's all I'm gonna say. I want you to check that video out. And the cops lied. I want you to check it out. But I want to say my little commentary about this. You check that video out. I just want to say this. Like I said in my other video, not all cops are bad. All cops are not bad, just like I said in my other video. And I'm gonna do a part 3 to this video right here. Protect who and serve what. That protect and serve mess is out the window. Protect and serve. Protect who and serve what. Protect themselves and serve a death sentence. Serve a beating. I'm going to keep this thing going right here. This protect and serve. Protect who and serve what? I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to find 3 to 4 stories to put in my video. And it should be under 45 minutes, maybe under 30 minutes long. Ain't gotta be very long. Just some old little clips, old stories. I'm gonna bring them to life, bring it to life. Bring it back. That Rodney King happened in 1991. Bring it back to life. That made history. That's history. That riot. You saw the video. That beating they put on him. Just like I said what I said in the video. I wrote the way I felt about it. They didn't have to do that. They enjoyed beating Rodney King. They enjoyed beating that black man. Just clubbing him. Clubbing him. You next. Get him. Beat us. Beat him. Got us running, chasing him, high speed chasing him all around LA. Got us running, almost got in an accident. Trying to catch him. Beat his butt. Teach him. They enjoyed beating him. Tasing him. Got the taser. They might have had 2 tasers on Rodney King. Just beating him. Taking turns beating him. Just beating him. And like I said what I had to say. The way I felt about it. My thoughts. They didn't have to do that. Then they got to quit it. See, that's the problem. That's the problem. And it was on camera. This is the problem. This is why I do my videos. And you see what happened. Those riots. You read it. You saw the video. A lot of lives was lost because of that. It wasn't really because they beat him. It was because the cops got acquitted behind it. And when they had the evidence, the tape said it all. No justice. But anyway, I'm going to say this. Like I said before, not all cops are bad. All cops are not bad. And I personally don't have anything really against, I don't really have anything against cops. Just the bad ones. I never had any bad experience with a cop pulling me over. They always been cool. I never had any problems. My encounters with cops, I never had any problems. Yet. But not all cops are bad. Not all white cops are racist. And like I said, see a white cop shoot and kill a black person unarmed. I'm not quick to say he's racist. He wanted to kill a black man. I say he's trigger happy. Yeah. A lot of them are trigger happy. And you know why they do that? Because the system works for him. The system, the justice system, looks out for these cops. It's hard to convict a cop. Even with evidence, surveillance cameras, body cam, witnesses, it's hard to convict cops. Sometimes it's hard to even indict a cop. Until the system hold these cops accountable for their actions, it's going to continue. This is why these cops feel they're above the law. they can shoot and kill an unarmed person and get away with it. I've seen it happen too many times. This is why I do my videos. And at the same time, I'm bringing awareness to what's going on in America. It's crazy out here. I see a lot of videos, and I put myself in that position to see what would I do if I'm faced in this situation with a cop. For example, it was this white guy. He was actually a doctor. He was pulled over. I think they said he had his wife in the car on the passenger side. The police officer walked around on the passenger side, so I think he tried to open the door, you know, where his wife was at. But anyway, the man got out the car, and he had his gun in a holster on the side. He didn't have it in his hands. He had a gun in a holster. He wasn't trying to reach for it. Came out the car. Wasn't violent, anything. Didn't really even say anything. He wasn't, you know, he just got out the car and the police told him to put your gun down. So, like, put your gun down? First of all, he didn't have it in his hand. Now I'm thinking, okay, well, he telling him put his gun down. So if he reached for the gun, is that going to be his opportunity to shoot him and possibly kill him? He want him to reach for the gun so he can say, well, he reached for his gun after he had said, put your gun down. But anyway, the man ended up folding his arms up like this. And so they just wrestle him. I don't know if they wrestled him to the ground, but they just wrestled him. And I guess they arrested him, you know, and all that old mess. But anyway, that just, you know, just put myself in that position. And put yourself in that position. If you got your gun, you know, on a holster, and the officer tell you to put your gun down, it's in the holster. I mean, you reach for it. You know, you try to take the gun and the holster. Not take the gun out. Just take the gun and the holster out. Which sometimes it might be on a belt. You have to take the whole belt off. But anyway, I don't know. I probably just put my hands up and say, you take it. You know what I mean? You take it. I'm not going to reach for my gun because you might shoot me. But that's just one example right there. And I'm going to tell you another thing. These cops right here, these cops out here, I know when they try to hurt a person, like choke someone, let's say choke someone, and I'm gonna say this, it was an officer, a female officer, a black female officer. I'm gonna do the video on her next, along with some other people. And I'm just gonna say choke. Okay, this is what happened. This female police officer tried to intervene and stop her partner, another police officer, which is a white man. Another officer was choking a suspect. So the black female officer was trying to stop her partner, which was a white police officer, try to stop him from choking this man. The suspect was already handcuffed, but he was choking. I guess he was mad about something, taking his anger out on him, choking him. So she tried to stop him. I don't know if, you know, I don't think she jumped on his back or anything, but I guess it was a little bit of lies in between that too. But anyway, she tried to pull him off or whatever, stop him. But anyway, the police officer punched her in the face, and they ended up firing her. She got fired and lost her pension. So she was fighting to try to get her pension back. I want to do an update on that video as well and try to find out did she actually get her pension back, because I know it means a lot. And I can imagine how much it is, and it probably was a lot. She's been on the force for a long period of time. But regardless, it was hers, and she deserved it. Deserve it more than these police officers that's shooting and killing unarmed people that resign. Sure, that's why a lot of officers, they get themselves in some trouble. They resign before they get fired so they can get their pension. But since she was fired for that reason, she should get it anyway. They should make an exception. Now, like I said, you have good officers out here. Not all of them are bad. I can consider her one of the good police officers. She's an ex-police officer. Now, I consider her as a good cop. I can say she was a good cop that tried to stop a bad cop. That's why some of those good cops fear intervening when it comes to stopping a bad cop from doing wrong, because they could lose their job and their pension, get fired. This is why I think it's a lot less good cops. That's one of the reasons, I know. Because some of them don't want to speak up. Some of them don't want to stop the BS that's going on, that they know going on, because they might get blackballed and maybe even bullied, threatened, lose their job, pension. But anyway, I want to do a story on that next. And I want to say this too before I end my little commentary. I want to say this. First of all, I want to say, like I said again, not all cops are bad, but it's more bad cops than good cops. And I want to say this. I also saw a video about this cop that was getting his butt kicked by this man. And I'm going to look at that video again too, because I might even doing a little video on that too. I might throw a little clip in there or whatever. But anyway, what it is, what happened was, I guess the cop tried to arrest the man, and the man ended up fighting him and had him all over between the bench and everything. You know, I guess he got the best of the cop. And so you had the police officer, I guess he was the chief, talking like ain't nobody helped the cop. Like, yeah, they had the cell phone cameras recording it, and they just watching the officer get beat up. Like, now you want somebody to jump in and help the cops. When the cop getting beat up, you want people to intervene and help the cop out. But yet, if you have a friend or even a stranger that you see an officer just choking somebody, and you try to stop the officer from choking this person before they kill him, if you try to stop the officer, they want to turn the attention to you and arrest you for interfering with police duty. So for that cop to say nobody help him, they didn't want to interfere with police duty. And I want to say this too. Let's talk about the Rodney King video. They didn't have to beat him like that. Those cops enjoyed beating Rodney King. Just clubbing him, clubbing him, clubbing him. Your turn, get him. Just clubbing him, beating him. Just beating him. They enjoyed that. they got acquitted. That's why LA, they just tore LA down. Tore it down. A lot of property was damaged. A lot of lives was lost behind that riot. Those riots, because it was more than one, as you saw in the video clip. At least 50 people died, and over 2,000 people were injured. A lot of damage. You can build those buildings back, but you can't bring nobody's life back.
A man in South Haven, Mississippi was fatally shot and killed after police mistook his house for the house of a suspect. The man had no active warrants. South Haven police on Monday killed resident Ismael Lopez on Monday evening after arriving at his house in an attempt to serve an arrest warrant for a man named Samuel Pearman, whose house was located about a dozen yards away from Lopez's. His wife told their local news, Action News 5, that she and her husband were sleeping. And they heard some commotion. He went out to investigate, and the next thing that she knew, he had been shot by police and was lying dead on the floor. Attorney Murray Wells, who is representing Lopez's family, says that the bullet holes suggest police shot through the door of Lopez's house. Police claim that Lopez opened the door and pointed a gun at them, and that they only shot him after repeatedly asking him to drop his weapon. However, some neighbors are disputing the officer's account because they didn't really, that's not what they heard. A lot of people were awoken by this commotion. And the lawyer goes on to say, Wells implied that officers had reasons not to tell the truth in their account of what happened, namely because they could face consequences for shooting Lopez. He also said that Claudia, who was the only one on the property who could not be held responsible for shooting Lopez, did not hear any commands or instructions being given. In addition, Wells said Lopez never pointed a gun at the officers. And just sort of closing in his memory, they've been in that home for 13 years, and the only time the police had ever been there was when they had been robbed before. No criminal history whatsoever. A long-standing employee of the city of Bartlett, mechanic, loved in the neighborhood. This is an incredibly tragic story. Jen, I kind of want to toss it to you because you said that your take on this was it was less about the police shot the wrong guy. It's what if they shot the right guy? I think the narrative here has gotten a little muddled at how we've been seeing it reported.
Real quick though, before you jump in on that, I just want to make a quick statement about how the cops are claiming that he was pointing a gun at them, and that's the reason why they decided to open fire. Why is there a gunshot or a bullet hole through the door? Yeah. Right? Like that's just very strange to me. So you're saying that you could see through the door and he was holding a gun and refused to put it down, and then you shot him. It's just weird. Anyway.
This seems like a classic case of shooting too early, which is now the millionth story in a row we've done about cops who shoot too early. So you don't even know who the guy is. You went to the wrong house. You didn't bother asking him. Hey, who are you? Like you might have shot too early if you didn't ask who he is. And so let's break it down in 18 different ways. First off, you're going to a house in the middle of Mississippi in the middle of the night, and even if what the cop story is true, which no witnesses agreed to, every witness says first thing they hear is the shots. They don't hear any commands to put a gun down. There's a bullet in the door. So none of their stories corroborated. But even if it was true, you're surprised that a guy comes out with a gun in the middle of Mississippi? Everybody's got a gun in Mississippi. Shouldn't you be prepared for that moment? Like, hey, look, if we're going to arrest someone, and he's not like the guy that they were trying to get is not some sort of crime lord. It was a domestic assault from before. It's not like it was an emergency situation and oh my God, he's got a gun and he might use it. No, they go and they're going to go serve this warrant or whatever and arrest the guy. And you think, hey, maybe a house that in the middle of the night in Mississippi when I riled him up, the guy might have a gun, and let's plan out how we're going to handle that. Instead, who cares, just shoot him through the door. Or even in their scenario, the guy comes out with a gun and they're like, all right, we asked him a couple times, just kill him. Just kill him already, let's move on. Well, look, if you're a Republican, how many of you have guns? So if they wake you up in the middle of the night and you don't know who it is, you don't know that it's cops.
Right.
You're in the middle of Mississippi,
Right.
It could be anybody. But a bunch of guys pointing guns at you. What would you do? You'd probably come out with your gun, right? You're gonna get killed. Because they're not gonna ask questions. They're gonna give you, at best, in their scenario, a couple of seconds before that you're dead, okay? Now, that's their best case scenario. That the
Right.
guy actually showed up with a gun that he has a right to carry.
Right.
But in reality, the evidence says, from what they can gather, okay, the gun's not near the body.
Right.
It's Mississippi, the guy's got a gun, it's in the house, but it's somewhere else. So wait, what, did he go pack the gun after he was dead? Okay, why is there a bullet in the door? Why are no witnesses corroborating your story? And oh, hey, authorities covering up for their own mistakes. Oh, well, that's gotta be a first. So even if they shot the right guy, it would have been hideous. And of course, the guy says he didn't do the domestic assault, but it doesn't matter. You arrest someone for domestic assault. You don't execute them for domestic assault. And you don't execute someone within 2 seconds because, oh, I don't know, I'm never taking a chance, man. I'm gonna rile people up in the middle of the night, and if they even look at me weird, or I don't even see them, who cares? Just shoot them through the door, who cares? I'm not gonna take any chances. My training told me everybody's a threat. There are no citizens I'm trying to protect. Oh, I'm only trying to protect myself. Just shoot the citizens, kill them, and move on with your life.
Right, and this could have happened to anyone in the neighborhood. They didn't take, any extra time to verify the address of the person that they were supposed to go to, right? And by the way, obviously that man in this scenario is extremely lucky because he's alive today, right? He would have, almost certainly be dead if they had gone to the right house. And so, in this case, it's in the middle of the night. So just put yourself in that situation, okay? You're in bed with your spouse. You hear commotion at your front door. You don't know who it is. I would panic if it's the middle of the night and I hear that commotion at my front door. And so you go and you're confused. You don't know what's going on. People are talking to you, they're cops, who knows what they said to him, he was probably still confused. I don't know how it all went down. We all don't know, the specifics of how it went down. But the way that they handled the situation, even in the best case for the cops, was terrible, That's not the way that you're supposed to handle a situation like this.
All right, last thing is, look, if you had no sympathy for African Americans who keep getting shot when they don't have weapons on them, well, now, congratulations. We've made the cops so jittery. Our training of them is so miserable, and there's never any consequences. Now they don't care about your race. You got the woman, the yoga instructor, shot dead in Minnesota, and now they don't know the guy's race. They didn't even open the door.
Yeah.
Right? So they're like, I don't care, man. They told me there's no consequences and I should never, ever, ever, ever take a risk with my life. So just kill him before I even see him. So how do they know you're a good, honorable, right-wing Republican? They don't. They're going to come for you too.